Will start to move with 10. Clark the hesitation, flips it into Boston, deep position, and she finishes.
Caitlin Clark has just delivered a powerful message that has sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA, and her 5-word warning to Rhyne Howard has completely changed the conversation about how rivals are trying to intimidate the league's biggest star. The Indiana Fever sensation was involved in another heated on-court confrontation Thursday night, and what happened during this explosive altercation with Atlanta Dream star Rhyne Howard has revealed exactly why Clark continues to be targeted by opponents who clearly underestimate her competitive fire. This latest incident proves that Clark's eventful start to the 2025 campaign is far from over. Just 5 days after her clash with rival Angel Reese in Saturday's season opener, Clark found herself caught up in more controversy with another WNBA star during the Fever's matchup against the Atlanta Dream. What makes this confrontation particularly significant is the context surrounding it. The Fever took on the Atlanta Dream for the second time this week, with both teams carrying the intensity from their previous 91-90 battle that came down to the final seconds. Maybe there was some carryover from that nail-biting finish, but what happened next shocked everyone watching. The explosive moment occurred late in the first quarter with less than 30 seconds remaining. Howard was playing full-court defense on Clark, who was dribbling up the court when the two players got caught up in a heated exchange that required immediate separation. Howard was called for a foul at half-court, which led to Clark putting her shoulder into Howard's chest, sparking a small scuffle. TV cameras captured the entire confrontation as it unfolded. Both players appeared to extend an arm, and Clark began to walk away from the situation before Howard took a step forward. But one of Howard's teammates quickly stepped in and led Howard away while players from both teams rushed in to separate the two rivals. But here's where Clark delivered her most powerful message. As the situation was being diffused, TV cameras appeared to capture Clark saying the words that have everyone talking. "I'm not scared of you." Clark's 5-word warning was delivered directly in Howard's direction, making it crystal clear that intimidation tactics won't work on the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. The visual impact of this moment was absolutely incredible. Clark then walked to the bench and was spotted offering a sarcastic thumbs up as the teams prepared for halftime, demonstrating the kind of competitive fire that has made her one of basketball's biggest stars. Her message was unmistakable. She's not backing down from anyone. What makes this confrontation even more interesting is the history between these two players. Despite the tense moment Thursday, they shared a funny interaction earlier this month in the preseason, when Howard jokingly picked at Clark's ear after their exhibition, prompting a laugh from Clark. The contrast between that playful moment and Thursday's heated exchange shows how quickly things can escalate in competitive situations. Clark's warning to Howard comes when she's facing increased physical pressure from opponents. The scuffle with Howard came just 5 days after Clark and Angel Reese had to be separated, when Clark was called for a flagrant foul on Reese, who then had words for Clark. That incident prompted an investigation into alleged hateful comments toward Reese by fans at the game, with Reese reposting a TikTok that said she is unsafe playing in Indiana. The irony of this situation becomes clear when you look at Clark's performance during the game. It was a slow night overall for Clark, who had just 6 points heading into the fourth quarter after scoring 27 points 2 nights earlier against Atlanta. She finished with only 11 points on 4 of 11 shooting from the field, marking one of her worst statistical performances of the season. But perhaps most significantly, Clark's shooting struggles included going 0 for 5 from three-point range. According to ESPN's Alexa Philippou, this marked Clark's first career WNBA game without a made three-pointer. She had made a three-pointer in 42 straight games, the longest streak to begin a career in WNBA and NBA history. A streak of 140 games, including the WNBA regular season and playoffs, and the bulk of her college career included at least one made three-pointer. Despite these shooting struggles, Clark's competitive spirit never wavered. Indiana trailed 75-71 with just over 2 minutes to go, but the team ended the game on a 10-1 run, with Clark adding 5 points in the fourth quarter to help secure the 81-76 victory. Clark and the Fever had the last laugh on Thursday night, running out as winners and making amends for their previous 91-90 loss to the same team. The team's overall performance reflected the physical nature of the game. The Fever shot 7 of 23 from three-point range and 8 of 15 on free throws, showing how both teams struggled to find offensive rhythm amid the intense defensive pressure. Clark's teammate, Natasha Howard, stepped up with 26 points to lead Indiana to victory, while Rhyne Howard dropped 24 points for Atlanta. Coach Stephanie White's post-game comments perfectly captured the team's mentality. "Big plays at key moments," she said in the locker room after the game. "This is what it's going to take. This is a display of the depth we have. If it's not your night, someone else is going to step up." She continued, "It's not going to be easy. Teams are going to defend us in lots of different ways. They're going to try and take one or two away. But when we get contributions like this from everybody, we're going to find ourselves in the win column." The game was played in front of a packed crowd at State Farm Arena, showing that fans still come out to see Clark, even on her off nights. The energy in the arena showed just how much intensity she brings. Her message to Howard wasn't just trash talk. It showed she won't back down, no matter how tough defenders play her. Even though she missed more shots than usual, her fierce drive hasn't gone anywhere. The broader implications of this confrontation extend beyond individual rivalries. Clark's eventful start to the campaign has been overshadowed by various on-court incidents, but her consistent message remains the same. She won't be backing down from anyone who tries to intimidate her. Sophie Cunningham returned from an ankle sprain, played without limits, and scored 9 points to help Indiana. Even after a very poor shooting night, Clark gave Howard a short, strong warning, proving she'll keep fighting hard no matter how many shots she misses. The Fever are back in action Saturday against the reigning WNBA champion New York Liberty in Indianapolis at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and everyone will be watching to see how Clark responds to both her shooting struggles and the ongoing attempts by opponents to rattle her composure. What do you think about Caitlin Clark's strong warning to Rhyne Howard? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more breaking WNBA coverage.
She's got to get it in. She lobs it up for Howard. Howard had it blocked at the rim. Howard pulls it down. Howard shocking about. Mitchell right there. Back for Clark and hits a three.
No, she made history in just 42 games. But when the final buzzer sounded, fans were furious. What really happened that night? Caitlin Clark didn't just break another record. She shattered expectations, rewrote the rules, and stirred up one of the most controversial finishes in recent WNBA memory. The Fever were locked in a fierce battle against a revamped Atlanta Dream. All eyes were on Clark. She wasn't just the most hyped rookie, she was the face of a movement, and she didn't disappoint. In just her 42nd WNBA game, she dropped 27 points, dished 11 assists, and pulled down 5 rebounds. With that stat line, she tied the league record for the most 20-point, 10-assist games, a record that took Courtney Vandersloot a staggering 394 games to set. But this night wasn't just about numbers. It was about what happened when it mattered most, in the final seconds with the game on the line. With just seconds left on the clock and the Fever trailing by 1, Clark was the inbounder. Everyone expected the ball to come back to her, but it didn't. Instead, Natasha Howard took the final shot, and it was blocked. The buzzer sounded. Game over. Fans were stunned. Why didn't the ball go back to Clark? Why wasn't the team's top scorer given the last look? That one moment ignited a firestorm. Social media exploded. Analysts questioned the decision. Fans demanded answers. And in the middle of it all stood Clark, poised but clearly frustrated. It wasn't just the coaching decision that drew heat. The referees were in the spotlight too. The game featured 3 overturned calls after coaches' challenges, raising eyebrows across the league. Each reversal seemed to deflate the Fever's momentum, and tensions boiled over. Clark's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, took to social media to vent. In a now-deleted tweet, he criticized the officiating with pointed frustration, and he wasn't alone. Fans across the country echoed his sentiments, calling out what they saw as inconsistent and questionable calls. During the Indiana Fever's tight 91-90 loss to the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday night, McCaffrey took to social media to aim a dig at officials in a since-deleted tweet. Despite the chaos, Clark remained focused. Speaking to reporters after the game, she didn't deflect blame or dodge the tough questions. Instead, she leaned in. "We wanted to win this game, but this is great for our team," she said. A little adversity, how are we going to respond? That statement said it all. Clark wasn't just playing the game. She was learning, leading, and setting a tone for her teammates. The loss stung, but it didn't shake her. What makes Clark's achievement even more astonishing is the pace at which she's rewriting history. Most players take years to settle into the league. Clark, she's obliterating benchmarks in just over a season. Her 27-point, 11-assist night marked her 5th game hitting that milestone, and she did it in just 42 games. By contrast, Vandersloot, one of the league's all-time greats, needed nearly 400 games to amass the same number. That puts Clark's rise in perspective. She's not just talented, she's historic. Clark's meteoric rise has brought massive attention to the WNBA, but it's also made her a target. She's been on the receiving end of rough fouls, constant double teams, and relentless scrutiny. Yet she rarely complains. When she does speak out, it's measured and sharp. After the loss to the Dream, she didn't hold back entirely. In a subtle but strong message, she acknowledged the officiating issues and the emotional roller coaster of the final moments. It wasn't a meltdown, it was a warning. She sees what's happening, and she's not backing down. She acknowledges that there's a lot to look at for the refs, but still disagrees with the position they were put into regarding challenges in the first half. Clark knows the pressure she's under. Every game is a spotlight. Every play is dissected. Every quote becomes a headline. And yet, she plays with joy, confidence, and grit. She's become a symbol of change, not just for her team, but for women's basketball. Her jersey is flying off shelves. TV ratings spike when she plays. Young fans pack arenas just to catch a glimpse. And it's not just about basketball. Clark represents a shift in how women's sports are perceived. Her rise is a challenge to the old narratives. Her presence is proof that stars in the WNBA can shine just as bright. What many fans don't realize is just how rare it is to see this kind of impact from a player so early in their career. Clark hasn't even played a full 2 seasons, yet she's already being talked about alongside league legends. That kind of pressure could break most rookies, but she thrives on it. Insiders have noted how Clark's work ethic behind the scenes rivals her intensity on the court. She watches game tape obsessively, often the last one to leave the gym. Coaches rave about her ability to adapt not just to opponents, but to the growing weight of expectation. Her teammates, too, speak highly of her leadership. Even veterans admit she's changed the culture in the locker room. She brings a fire, a confidence that lifts everyone. And when she speaks, people listen. Still, Clark understands this is just the beginning. She knows that every record broken comes with a new target on her back. Every headline draws another defender looking to make a name by stopping her. But that challenge, that edge, is what fuels her. Even the game against the Dream, as chaotic as it was, showed Clark's maturity. While others lost composure, she kept her cool. She pushed through bad calls, adapted to pressure, and nearly willed her team to a comeback. The loss will sting. That final play will haunt some. But if history tells us anything, it's this: Clark doesn't crumble. She comes back stronger. The Fever may have lost the game, but they gained something more valuable: resilience. Clark's leadership in the post-game interviews set the tone. That's why this league WNBA is so great. You have a couple days, then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. As the season unfolds, expect more fireworks. The target on Clark's back isn't going away, but neither is her drive. If anything, this loss could become the catalyst for something even bigger. It's rare to see a rookie change the trajectory of an entire league, but that's exactly what Clark is doing. With every record she breaks, every tough loss she endures, and every microphone she steps in front of, her legacy grows. She's not just the future of the WNBA. She's its present, and if this game was any indication, she's just getting started. The buzzer may have ended the game, but the conversation is far from over. That final play, those officiating calls, Clark's response, it all added up to something unforgettable. This wasn't just another night in the WNBA. This was a turning point, and Caitlin Clark, once again, was right in the middle of it all. Stay tuned, because whatever comes next, you can be sure it won't be quiet. If you found this story as compelling as we did, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories in sports, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think really happened in those final seconds?
Knicks back at MSG looking to close things out against the Celtics in Game 6. Stephen A. Smith caught up with Ben Stiller before the game.
The NBA has just delivered a shocking revelation that has the entire basketball world stunned, and what's just been disclosed about the Eastern Conference Finals has Knicks fans completely speechless. For weeks, New York's playoff dominance seemed unstoppable. Until now. The league's confirmation that the Pacers' revolutionary playing style represents a direct challenge to Tom Thibodeau's grinding approach has created unprecedented concern about whether the Knicks can overcome this stylistic nightmare in their quest for championship glory. The New York Knicks, Eastern Conference powerhouse and current playoff darling, created unprecedented buzz by dispatching the defending champion Boston Celtics in 6 games. Born from years of methodical, defensive-minded basketball under Thibodeau's system, this shocking development has revolutionized expectations by establishing New York as a legitimate title contender, running through opponents with a physical brand of basketball that completely neutralized even the mighty Celtics, despite playing mostly a 7-man rotation. The implications of the NBA's confirmation about Indiana's contrasting style extend far beyond simple X's and O's analysis. This isn't just another playoff matchup. This represents a fundamental clash of basketball philosophies that threatens to derail New York's championship aspirations. The Pacers' relentless pace and full-court pressure have been identified by experts as potentially the perfect antidote to the Knicks' methodical approach, creating serious questions about whether Thibodeau's system can withstand Indiana's frenetic energy. What makes this stylistic confrontation particularly significant is how directly it challenges the Knicks' established formula for success. The statistics couldn't be more stark. Indiana averages 100.8 possessions per 48 minutes, 7th most in the NBA, compared to New York's 97.08, 4th fewest. In the playoffs, the disparity remains just as pronounced, with the Pacers at 99.3 possessions versus the Knicks at just 95.3. This dramatic pace differential creates the exact type of chaotic environment that could completely neutralize New York's carefully orchestrated defensive schemes. The Pacers' strategic approach aligns perfectly with comments from former opposing coach Kenny Atkinson, who delivered a stunning assessment after his top-seeded Cavaliers were eliminated in just 5 games. Atkinson's description of Indiana as like a college team that presses for 48 minutes and runs faster than anybody in the league represents a complete departure from the controlled half-court style that has defined the Knicks' playoff success. This fundamental contrast in approaches has basketball analysts questioning whether New York can possibly adapt quickly enough. The specific concern about Indiana's playing style extends far beyond philosophy into practical roster construction. Unlike the Knicks, who have shortened their rotation to essentially 7 players with each starter logging massive minutes, Coach Rick Carlisle plays a 9 and 10-man rotation, and nobody has averaged more than Halliburton's 34.1 minutes per game this postseason. This depth advantage could prove devastating as the series progresses, with Indiana's fresh legs potentially overwhelming New York's heavily worked core. But wait, there is more. As game planning experts and basketball analysts have noted, Indiana's approach creates unique matchup problems for New York's defensive schemes. All-star guard Tyrese Halliburton thrives in transition with his ability to get to the rim and find open teammates on fast breaks, a skill set designed to exploit exactly the type of tired legs that come from Thibodeau's heavy minute allocation to his starters. This mismatch in both philosophy and personnel represents a shocking vulnerability in what had appeared to be an unstoppable Knicks team. The importance of this stylistic clash extends beyond strategic considerations into championship implications. With the Eastern Conference Finals representing New York's deepest playoff run in decades, the revelation that Indiana's approach may be perfectly designed to counter the Knicks' strengths has sent shockwaves through a fan base that had begun dreaming of an NBA Finals appearance. The league's acknowledgement of this fundamental stylistic mismatch threatens to completely derail what had been building as a fairy tale playoff run. The Knicks' influence as a defensive powerhouse is now directly threatened by Indiana's commitment to pace and pressure. Josh Hart, one of New York's key defenders, acknowledged the challenge ahead, stating they must try to be physical, get to the ball, get them out of rhythm, and lastly, communicate so they don't have open shots.